Thank you so much. Oh boy. Honorable Prime Minister Ji, Honorable Minister of Health Ji, Madam Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, dear colleagues and friends, what an amazing historical day. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but you can cut the emotions in pieces from here. We are here in Varanasi, in Kashi, the city probably, I understand, the oldest and longest inhabited in the world, a thousands of years old city, to discuss about a thousands of year old disease, tuberculosis, probably the oldest airborne pandemic that we have, and not to discuss about it, but to discuss how we are going to end it. And we are here from more than 40 countries, sir, and we are with the Stop TB Partnership board members that I would like them to wave where they are. First, that traveled long distance to be here in this amazing city. First time ever meeting on World TB Day, and first time ever, and let's keep this in mind, meeting in the country with the highest burden of TB, but with the best plan, the highest ambition, and the most amazing activities implemented. I want all of us to realize we are here in an amazing summit, and it has an amazing title. It says, One World. The entire G20 presidency of India goes with an amazing slogan which speaks about basically embracing all of us into one future, one family, one earth, and we have one world that it's TB Summit. And we have one world, we have one air. That's what we share. And we share one air, and we share whatever is in that air. And tuberculosis is as well in that air. So we are here today because, unfortunately, we have a very high burden of TB in the world. We still have 4,400 people that die every single day of TB. 700 of them are children. We still have a huge number, millions of people that are going every year undetected, untreated, and undiagnosed. And every single person that is not detected and put on treatment, as you know, infects 15 others. So there is a snowballing effect that we see here. So normally a lot of journalists are saying, so you have this big burden, why are you having a slogan that says, yes, we can end TB? And I said, even before coming here to India, I said, because we have the ambition that we will end TB, and because we have, in few countries in the world, and in India, which is leading all of us, a very ambitious plan to end TB. In 2018, Honorable Prime Minister, we were in Delhi, and the Honorable Prime Minister said, India will end TB by 2025. And maybe there were some people that rolled their eyes. I tell them to stay with their eyes rolled, because India is ending TB by 2025. With the vision of the Prime Minister Modi and the amazing leadership of the Minister of Health, Mansukh Mandavia, and the great teams working here, plus the civil society that you have here in India, created over the last 5-6 years, the country is on an amazing path to do that. And let me tell you 3-4 things. You heard the achievements here. I don't intend to repeat them. I want to say this. In 2022, the world probably did the best in terms of detecting and putting on treatment people with TB. And probably we will go first time ever in history with less than 3 million people that are missing TB diagnosis and treatment, okay? We usually were 3 and above. We were 4.2, we were 4.5, we were 5. This will be probably first time ever going below 3 million. And that is due to the work of very few but very important high burden countries. And the first one is India. I want all of us, I am not paying lip service, I'm leaving from India, but I want to give the Caesar what is for Caesar. The country in 2022 diagnosed and put on treatment 2.4 million people. That's 33% of people with TB that were put on treatment in 2022 came from India. That is a huge achievement. You know why? Because COVID made a dip in the cases diagnosed and treated in India as in other countries. And it took a lot of ambition and effort not only to jump back, but to go above and beyond what was in 2019. In addition to India, we have here the High Delegation from Indonesia. Thank you, DG Max and the team and Minister Budi for ensuring that Indonesia managed to bring the largest ever pool of people diagnosed and treated as India as well, Nigeria, and as well as Bangladesh and Brazil, that are making us to say with our head up, yes, we can end TB. In 2018, when the Prime Minister Modi said we will end TB by 2025, he triggered a lot of sweat and effort and hard work by a lot of people. It triggers something that we want and we wish to have in all countries. First, make a plan. What does it mean to end TB by 2025? If you don't make a plan and you don't think how it should be and you don't try to fund it, we will never even be able to think about it. You know what I mean? How can you end TB if you don't have a plan? And then, you know, there were a few things that were not maybe clearly understood what happened here. The budget for TB increased 4 times. The domestic budget for TB increased 4 times within 2-3 years. In addition to that, what India put in place to ensure this case finding, and a lot of things you saw here, there are a lot of tools and innovation made in India that are being rolled out here, from the rapid molecular diagnosis to mobile X-ray, digital technology, a lot of artificial intelligence, drugs, combination of drugs, drones delivering the drugs, door-to-door case finding, and the empowerment of civil society and communities, and the efforts that are being done here are not matched anywhere else. There are TB forums. India alone has 30,000 TB champions. It's the highest number that we ever saw. In the presentation, and the Honorable Minister of Health spoke about Nikshay. Nikshay, every country should have Nikshay. We should try and clone you, sir, and come and push in every country to have a Nikshay. Nikshay is the only real-time TB information system that we have in the world. You basically go online, any of you now, and we find out how many people with TB were diagnosed, per district, per sub-district, by age, by gender, by category. It's amazing to analyze the data, but it's empowering many other activities happening. There is an amazing decentralization of the TB efforts here, and I salute the way in which these are happening at subnational level, at state and district level, in which actually there is a competition in which states the incidence and the numbers of people treated are going in the right direction, and we will hear today some prizes being given. That is absolutely amazing. Nikshay helps also, you heard, in India, every single person with TB receives 500 rupees per month during the treatment. It's the scale that this effort took, being done through an online platform, through Nikshay, like this transfer of the cash, is unbelievable. 8 million people received around $220 million in the last 5 years for this. There are other countries giving a little bit of money. There is nothing at this scale, because India is not doing pilot projects. India is doing at scale, and that's something that we should embrace and we should know about that. And let me tell you about something else that India does at scale, and it's actually my favorite, because it brings the heart and the love that we should have for the people with TB. I think in September last year, or early October, I think it was September, the TB Free India initiative of you, Your Excellency, Honorable Prime Minister, was launched. And that is an initiative in which people with TB are accompanied, if they will agree, by a supporter, by a person that will support and will encourage and will provide him with some financial resources or some food baskets, with a word of love, with a shoulder to cry throughout the treatment. It was an open invitation, basically, to the entire nation of India to embrace people with TB. Absolutely amazing idea. Absolutely amazing effort. Do you know why? First of all, because people learn about TB. And you know, this is where people, you know, people like us with privileges, with salaries, private sector and so on, why not embrace one or two or three people that are less lucky than us? Stigma disappears. The people feel heard and listened. And we, which are lucky ones, not sick, we are able to understand about the challenges that a person of TB has. It went amazing. 1 million people already with TB from India are paired with their supporters. This is absolutely spectacular. Congratulations. I really think, honestly, that this is an idea that we can have in other places as well. And today, now here, I announce that I will personally support 5 people with TB from India, from here, from Varanasi. I want to go towards the second part of my speech, which I am going to hopefully finish very soon. I want to say this. India will end TB by 2025. We in Stop TB Partnership are the biggest supporters of the efforts of India, and will continue to support this. With the team you have in place, Prime Minister and Minister of Health, and the colleagues here, I have no doubt. The incidence is already going up. There are states in which the incidence is going down at 40, 50, 30%, unheard of. This is fantastic. But we need, sir, your help in the world. We need... I work for Stop TB Partnership, and I really believe we can end TB in the world by 2030. You know what happens? India goes ahead. We'll reach the end TB by 2025. We'll have to drag all of us after, you know? So we have to keep up. It's like in a race, you know? They go ahead, the rest we have to run to keep up. And in this keep up, there are 2 things that, if Your Excellency, you have a bit of time to think about it. In September, in New York, during the UN General Assembly, we have the UN high-level meeting for TB. It's an important moment for all of us. And we are not that lucky in many countries to benefit from the attention of the prime ministers or head of states. So we want to ask you here if you will be inclined, hopefully, to advise the people that are surrounding you and keep your calendar to at least ring-fence in your calendar the date of 22 September, that together with the Excellency Minister of Health, you will be with us in New York. So that will be an extremely important moment, because, as I said, you see, TB is not a very sexy disease. And our people affected by TB are not the most visible, are the ones that are usually having, unfortunately, a vulnerability, are not the ones that we are able to see. But I know that your heart is for these people, and we need a voice to speak for them, that is a voice that will be listened at the world. So please, sir, if that will be possible, it will be great, not for me, obviously, not for the Stop TB Partnership, obviously, but for all of us here in the room and the world. And the second point that I want to make, and the last, and it's another request, I come from a country where we used to ask a lot of things, I'm Romanian. My second point is, we spoke here about one future, one earth, one family, one world. We need one leader. I'm serious. We want you to inspire other leaders in the world to help drive this agenda forward. And I'm looking at Stop TB Partnership. During our board meeting, we will launch an initiative, a coalition of leaders, with the one leader as the founding leader. And I'm looking at the President of Indonesia, I'm looking at the President of Brazil, I'm looking at the President of South Africa and the President of Nigeria, the newly elected President of Nigeria, to maybe join under your leadership this movement. We will announce it at the Stop TB Partnership, and we want to launch it in New York, and that will be for us in TB. You will definitively change the world and give the hope to all of us. I'm ending here with something that I want the rest of us to understand. I represent an organization that tries to support the countries to end TB. We have in the room the colleagues from WHO, from the Global Fund, from other many organizations. We will not end any disease unless the countries themselves and the leaders of the countries themselves care for the health of their people. Unless you have a prime minister that does in 5 years 2 high-level summits on tuberculosis and commits to end TB earlier than the rest of the world, unless you have leaders that care for the health of their people, whatever we do on the margins, we will not be able to end TB. That's why in India, we just need to ensure that the leadership continues. We need to ensure that we have the same type of embracing the health of people in every single country in the world. TB harega, India jitega. TB harega, dunia jitega. Namaste.